Ethan Blaze Alarms here, and today I have a box. And thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit the like button, and I'm obviously joking. So inside this box is something special. This box contains a Collectors Controls DUSMC, Dual Universal Sync Module Coder. So, let's open this box up. I'm curious to see what we have. There we go. Get the scissors out of the way here. So, right on top we can immediately see the manual for this thing. Alright. Take a look at this in a moment. Then I see a board, I think. Yeah. Look at this. This thing's actually a little smaller than I thought it would be. But wow. Huh. Look at this thing. Oh, that's cool. Alright, let me just double check that there is nothing else inside the box. Alright, can confirm that there is nothing else inside the box. So, plug that in there for a second. Let's take a look at the manual for a second here. We have a Collectors Controls DUSMC Dual Universal Sync Module Coder. As you can see right there. This is made by Collectors Controls, which is actually just YouTuber 405080, who I will link in the description as well, because this is actually pretty cool. I've never had a device that's been made by another collector, and this is pretty cool. So, got a manual here. Let's take a look at the coding options that this thing has. So, it comes with quite a few different coding options to begin with. These are the default ones, but I have special coding options. Let's see here, where are they? It's also got sync support. These are the default ones as well. Yep, so unfortunately this manual does not show the custom options, but I do have a PDF version that I'll put on the screen to show the custom options that I have. Alright, so I feel like I should probably put this little thing to the test, but first, let's take a look at this. So, yeah, looks pretty well done. Great job. Dip switches, I have the dip switch model, but there is a model where you can select them from the front, but I have the dip switch model. Alright, so I've got this set up right here, and it is currently wired to a system sensor P2R, or P2W actually, for that matter. And it is set to 4-wire mode, and NAC 1 is going to the 4-wire input, and NAC 2 is going to the regular input. And additionally, I have a resistor on that, so NAC 2 should be supervised. I don't have one on NAC 1. Let's power up the panel. Nothing's burning, so that's good. I suppose it's probably a good sign that nothing's blown up. Alright. Got a trouble on NAC 1. That's expected, though. We do not have any NAC 2 troubles. Now let's see if I take this off. We then do get a NAC 2 trouble, it seems. Yes. Let me put this back on. Alright. There we go. NAC 2 is now normal. So, I suppose we should probably test that, but I should actually quickly go into programming. Make sure NAC 1 is on continuous, because it's probably not. Let's take a look here. Any of the lights on? Nope. That's good, I think, right? Yeah. Function. Yeah, it's on temporal. Let's set this to steady. Perfect. NAC 3 is now disabled, and NAC 1 just has a trouble as expected. Alright, so before I set things off here, let's take a look at this for a second here. So, unused address should come on if I set this to something useless, right? You know, it might actually require power, like, to the neck being on. So, I feel like I should have thought of that, but... Alright, so I suppose... and also the voice module is unplugged. Let's see here. There we go. Alright. Right now, I just had it on continuous, and that is coding itself to temporal. Let's change some coding on that. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Now let me actually set it to something useless. There we go. Let's reset before I do anything. I don't want another spectral alert jump scare. Alright, so I believe I just set this thing to system sensor sync. So let's activate it again. There we go. Do we get 2-wire audible silence with this? Oh my god, we do. That's pretty cool. I've never had 2-wire audible silence with system sensor devices. I've been able to sync up the strobes, but only with the Simplex Smart Sync module, and that does not do audible silence with these. So this is pretty cool, having 2-wire audible silence with system sensor devices. That is definitely something I've not been able to do before, and that's part of the reason I got this thing. Because it has so many more coding options than the 4006 has. Like, there's a ton. So, I've made a bit of a modification. First of all, yes, I kind of mounted that. Yes, I know it's the wrong way around. But, you know, I don't have a box on this board that I can use for that. And additionally, it makes it actually possible to use the switches, and the screw terminals are right there. So I don't have to take the whole thing down and all that. I can just do everything from right here. Only downside is it blocks the LEDs, but if I'm going to be honest, I don't really think I need to see the LEDs. So I think we're fine there. Because one LED, all it means is that it's on, which, I mean, that'll be quite obvious because there'll be strobes flashing, and the fire alarm light will be on the panel, so not necessary for me. And then there's a trouble light, which only comes on if you have an invalid address set on there, which, I mean, not a problem for me either. I'll just set the correct address. And if I don't, I'll notice it when the alarm goes off. But yeah, so that's that. So I'm going to set it off in a moment and show you all the coding options that this thing has, including the custom ones. I'm not going to show you the sync ones right now, because then I'd have to swap out the alarm, and I don't feel like doing that. And this is going to be on a pretty low volume because it's late. The strobes are going to be all the true alerts, and the speakers are unplugged. See, unplugged. So give me just a moment. Alright, I'm going to activate the alarm. There's going to be some on-screen visuals so that way you can see what the programming is currently set to. Since I can't really get a good way to show you everything here, but you'll at least hear the CH70. First things first, continuous, which is all of them are down. Let's get some actual sound though. Hang on. Now you can actually hear it. This one is California code, so you know, since this is on single stroke, not gonna make as much noise, I suppose. This one's a custom one. That one's California code, but with 120 BPM. Pulsed California code. Four, 4. The Simplex 4002 temporal. Four, 4, 4, 4. Let's see, what else haven't I done? Aha, that's right. This one's another custom one. Ding, 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 ding. Silence. So I think that is all of them. Alright, so now it's time to review this thing. So, first of all, how easy was it to buy, since it's not something you would normally find? It was pretty simple for me. I pre-ordered it, but there's now also an eBay page, which I'll link in the description as well. So that's perfect. How easy is it to wire up? I mean, it's literally 6 terminals. 2 of them are input, 1 of them is a NAC output. And if you want to have an EOL resistor on it, easy. Put the EOL resistor on that, and it just works. Now, unfortunately, again, for me, I don't know what's going on here, but for some reason, my NAC just doesn't like it. As for how easy it is to work with, I mean, there's a few dip switches. It will definitely take some time to memorize all of the different combinations that you can use with this. But that's all right, in my opinion. For what it is, it's pretty good. Like, these dip switches here, yes, you are not going to be able to easily remember every single combination. But you don't need to, because there's a ton of combinations on here. Odds are you're not going to be using all of them. So, for the final rating for this device, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. It's pretty good. It does what it says it does what it claims it does, and it works really well. It's easy to use. I love it. And I will definitely look forward to using this in future system tests, because it's pretty good. And again, the only downsides I had to it was that it wasn't compatible with my NAC fully, which, sure, that seems like it is a problem with my NAC, but I suppose it is probably possible that there is a way to maybe even do something like running this off of 24 volts DC with 2 separate wiring terminals or something like that. So that way it could get power from a power source, and then the NAC having weird powering shouldn't affect the output. I suppose that is something that could probably be fixed on this. And additionally, the manual I got was the wrong one, but I did check with 405080, and that was his mistake. So I'm not going to take points off for that. But still, it is a pretty good thing. Another improvement I could probably see would be, it'd be really nice if you could actually connect these dip switches up to wiring terminals, so that way you can have something like a relay change what the coding options are. That would be really cool. I know that there is a version that has the front switches, but even then you can't control the outputs with a relay, which I think would be really, really cool. But other than that, I can't think of any other ways to improve this thing. It's pretty good. But anyways, thank you all for watching this video. If you enjoyed, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Ethan Blaze Alarms as well. Most of my viewers are not subscribed, so if you would consider subscribing, that would be amazing. And thank you very much as well. And I will see you in the next video. Bye everyone. Bye.